Ladies and gentlemen, the football clowns are back in action. After a 2-week hiatus, we have come back. Step right up and watch us make this money disappear. My name is Ren Smith. I'm a football clown. I'm joined by the co-host, co-clown of the show, Curtis Pinkney.
You're
joining us from Buffalo, New York, where I so recently was. How are you doing, Curtis?
I'm doing well, man. I know that you are under the weather, recovering. We had the Smiths over at the Pinkney household in Buffalo, and of course we had myself, who was getting over a cold, and y'all's son, who was probably mid-cold. So we had a nice clean sweep of everybody that was in that house that weekend getting sick, and it sounds like you are the you and my wife are the last ones holding out here.
Yes.
In terms of recovery, but
my voice sounds like I'm speaking through a box fan right now. It's awful, but I've got
not that bad.
The nice thing. Well, it sounds like it to me, but it was rough. You would actually think that us visiting each other and being in person in the flesh would have promoted more content rather than restricting the amount of content that happened. But the week before the visit, Curtis had some people in town. He was getting sick. Tried to sneak in an episode late, and we pulled the plug on it late. And then I got back late on Monday night, the 4th, and instantly fell sick. And there was just no way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I had no voice. I'm assuming you had no voice, or
correct,
something similar. Yeah. So it was a recipe for failure. But
it was.
The Smiths attended their first Bills tailgate. Both of our sons attended their first football tailgate, period.
It was amazing.
The football clowns host attended a phenomenal Bills-Dolphins game. We're only kind of drunk. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.
We weren't drunk enough that anything after the game was compromised. But during the first quarter of that game, we were still a little
very much buzzing. Yeah.
Yep, we definitely were. And so I of course didn't want to forget to mention that all the shenanigans that we had and all the good times, that Bills game with the Bills franchise record-setting 61-yard field goal by Tyler Bass with zeros on the clock to end the game. Just exactly what you want as an NFL fan. That was awesome. And it was an exciting day to go and get to do that. And experience, like you said, our kids' first tailgate. And we also have to make sure we mention, I know we can't bring back what is already lost, but while we were buzzing at this game, I completely laid waste to Curtis for picking the Denver Broncos to beat the Baltimore Ravens that week. And because we didn't get to record an episode that week, I was deprived of the chance to publicly shame him. And I am not even going to try to do justice to what I said there. But I just wanted to make sure that
the best ranch you've ever had.
And it disgusts me because we know that we're capable of doing that and creating that kind of glorious audio every once in a while. And it's lost to all time.
I think let's not forget, what fueled that rant, if you will, was our gentleman's degenerate drinks, or our degenerate gentleman drink. I don't remember how we branded that, but long story short, we polished off a bottle of Woodford Reserve, and then walked over to that game. And then cue Ren remembering that I tried to pick the Broncos to upset the Ravens, and we all saw how that went. And insert rant there, making sure that he knew that I knew that he knew that I am, in fact, a football clown.
Hey, we call ourselves football clowns, but it is still important for us to remind ourselves every once in a while that we got to look
reminded. Yes,
it's not enough to look in the mirror. Sometimes you need someone else to tell you every once in a while. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was right after they did a highlight. They did one of those things at the stadium where it's like, around the NFL, here's a highlight, and then they pop the score up, and it's like Ravens 31-7 or something like that. And of course, I have to be honest, I took the Broncos on the spread. They were getting 9 points, and I liked it. So not a full roast per se, but I was feeling that one. So regardless. how's, we have 3 weeks of action that we missed out on. We're not going to try to get to all of it today. We're just going to, keep the standard format and catch back up. But I'm curious, how's your fantasy setup? And I see you're getting a win in our league. It looks like, checking in. How you doing?
Yeah, fantasy very much needed that win. I was in danger of starting to slip out of playoff contention, but this one should put me firmly back in the race at 5-5. It's actually a very competitive year in that league. 5-5, I think, will get me into the top 6. I haven't done the standing math, but I mean, it's a very crowded field at the moment. So that's going to be a league where it comes down to the wire. In my big money league, your boy pulled out the victory by 0.38 points.
Wow. That's amazing.
We had in the Sunday night game, he had Tank Dell and the Texans defense. I had the Lions defense and Jameson Williams going.
Wow.
By 0.38 points.
So that was really in question. That was in question until the last snap of the game, really.
Yes, it was. And mercifully, being an old man, I fell asleep and didn't have to deal with the anxiety. And I woke up to a play because when I went to sleep, I was down by like 4 or 5 points or something like that. So I was just like, well, unless Williams gets a miracle touchdown on some of those deep shots that Goff kept trying and then throwing picks on,
yep,
I'm taking an L. So I went to sleep thinking I was a loser. Woke up pleasantly surprised. But that was against the so me and him were the only 7-2 teams. Your boy's sitting at 8-2.
Oh man,
very subtle flex. Your boy got a 100-point lead on the next person for points for.
Oh boy, you are in good shape. You are in good shape.
With that. It's happy with that team.
It's not only that it was a 0.38 point differential, but it was the battle for first place. That's pretty miraculous.
The first place position.
It's awesome. Yeah, with just a couple weeks left in the regular season.
That one felt good.
That one did feel good. Yeah. It's like Schrodinger. When you wake up in the morning, it's Schrodinger's football team or Schrodinger's fantasy team. Like, do you even want to know? But good that you ended up on top. I wanted to profess to everybody and raise my joy that I am one Jets loss away from hitting an under 9.5 wins preseason bet, which is amazing that it's possible to hit this early. And I'm very, very satisfied about being right that Aaron Rodgers is trash.
So Aaron Rodgers is trash. And I actually was looking at our whiskey bet sheet. Fun fact, I've already went ahead and laid claim to my Commanders over. So your boy is officially on the board there.
Good pick.
And a lot of my other picks are looking great. And
they're pretty much all looking good.
Yeah.
I looked 3 weeks ago and was depressed. I was like, there was like 1 or 2 that I maybe had a chance at, and the rest of them were easily you. It's like, it's bad.
There's a bottle of whiskey in my future from one Renly Smith.
I got a feeling it might be Woodford Reserve, just like we indulged at the Bills game.
Oh man, that's an interesting idea.
You're gonna have to dictate with some parameters, or maybe send me a list of your favorite whiskeys or something, because I want you to enjoy it. I'm disgusted that it's gonna go this way, but I want to make sure you enjoy yourself.
Okay, you are a gentleman and a scholar.
I like what you just did there.
And with that, I think we need to go ahead and recap what your boys just did this past week, because just because we've been not recording doesn't mean we haven't been placing bets.
Doesn't mean we haven't been winning bets, sir.
And it's not Curtis and Ren that are winning bets.
Absolutely not. Don the hat, sir. Here we go.
Who's getting loose winning these bets right now? Because the scholar I see, he had a couple of teaser legs, nothing crazy. That have already cleared, and we are waiting on a +8.5 Dolphins leg right now that I'm feeling pretty good about. The Dolphins went in a halftime up 10-6.
Yep.
And that Rams offense not looking very impressive right now. So the scholar looking pretty sharp. 549 return with the Dolphins. I like to see that.
And that's from a $3, so we're almost doubling our money there with those 3 teaser legs, but not to be outdone. The scholar has actually been outdone by your alter ego, sir. The
Oracle getting loose. And all the Oracle did was masqueraded as Mr. Curtis and Ren for the week. and that seems to have worked out because
Sure did.
what Ren shot me a text earlier in the week and was like, "Yeah, when we agree on things, we're 29-20. If we would have bet X amount of dollars, we'd be millionaires right now." Is basically the premise of that text, and I was
Something
like, "Well,
something like that. Maybe qualitatively right, quantitatively different, but
the details."
details.
So the Oracle, being the wise and powerful figure that he is, was like, well, shit, let's do something with that information. So all the games that we agreed on, and also avoiding divisional matchups, because I know Ren hates divisional matchups. I threw those all in a yes, they all were.
Yeah.
And I threw those all in a parlay. Detroit -2.5, Buffalo -2.5, and the Niners -2.5. Went ahead and nice little 3-legger, nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. What is crazy actually about that is that 2 of those bets hit basically with nothing on the clock left. The Niners hit a late field goal, and the Lions had a miraculous comeback. So it's been pretty amazing. The this teasing across the 3 and the 7 is working out really well for the scholar himself. Oh, sorry. You put your hat on. I'll put mine on for just a moment.
I don't know who I'm. Oh, there he is.
There he is. The Chargers I took down to -1.5 against the Titans. They blew them out of the water, which who are the Titans to be competitive in that game? And then the Steelers +8.5. The Steelers like to play close games, and they actually won the game by a point anyways. I was a little worried about that one, that the Commanders could just come out and win that game by 24. Would we really be surprised if Jaden Daniels just put on a show? But I'm really happy that stayed close. So that was good. And then Dolphins +8.5. I just got to have them keep this game close. We had front row seats to the Dolphins against the Bills, and I can tell you they could have easily won that game. The offense was playing well. The Dolphins were clicking on pretty much all cylinders the whole game. Just Bills wanted it a little more, and they had the home field advantage. So the Dolphins are built to go in and keep a game against the Rams close. So
I agree. And again, the Rams offense has not been looking great. So I think you're doing all right there.
We'll have to make 100% sure, obviously, before the episode's over. But
it's a nice little bow on our success last week. I've been pondering on how or ways that we could be tracking our successes or losses, and people use units and whatnot, but I kind of like the idea of a percentage return on our money, if you will, our investment.
I could see that. Is that calculated weekly? Is that basically like if we put in $10 on a week and we end at 12, then we got a 1/5 return on our investment plus 20%?
Yes, 20%. Yeah.
Yep.
I messed my whole head up with a fraction. I was like,
sorry. Yeah. You said percentage.
Not talking to the Oracle. Yeah.
You said percentage, not fraction. Those are totally different things.
It was great because I had 20% in my head, and I was like, "What the hell is 1/5?" But
you goofball.
Yeah. So we had a slight, 30% return on our money. Nothing crazy. 32. Nothing crazy. Not bad for a week's worth of work. It'd be interesting to see how we perform over the course of a season.
Yeah, I like that. I like that framing on it.
Because if we can return like 20-30% on our money and do that with some reasonable degree of confidence, I think we got to add some zeros to our entry pool pot.
I have a feeling we are going to. This sort of what is it, that stat that I sent you early in the week. I was thinking to myself, we're wasting our time with this $10 or with these $5 or $10 stinking and dunking here right now. If we actually figure this out, I think so. So the true or full full thesis research question, whatever, that I have posed basically, or that we've posed here, is if we pick the same side of a line and we're at least 2 points away from the Vegas line, are we better than 50%? Or I guess what's our strike rate is basically what it is. But I'm curious to know, my sort of corollary or auxiliary thing I want to know is that better than each of us combined? In other words, are we greater than the sum of our parts? I think we probably are. And I don't know for sure because I haven't run those numbers, but that's kind of what I'm curious at this point too.
Right. Yeah. So,
but anyway,
all that nerding aside.
Yeah. Anyway, all that nerding is, yeah, we have an interesting research questions, and maybe this can be the topic of some off-season episodes when we're lost adrift in the cosmos, looking for a sense of meaning while there's no football on Sundays. You were really waiting.
The dark ages, as I like to call them.
You
but
call
yes,
them the dark ages.
I like that way better.
Well, yeah, roaming the cosmos and dark ages are not mutually exclusive concepts when you think about it. So
100%.
But we have a lot of things to talk about this week, and break down some of these matchups. Also, just not from a betting standpoint. I want to start. Kansas City refuses to die. They should not have won all of these games, but they found a way to pull the rabbit out of the hat on every single one of these. The Broncos line up for a field goal. They can hand their nemesis. These people, I live in Colorado. These people hate the Chiefs, right? These Broncos fans hate the Chiefs. And here they are. They get to hand the Chiefs their first loss, and it's blocked. Absolutely. Yeah. You can't make this up. It's incredible.
Yeah, that was pretty wild to watch. I thought for sure, because I think it was like 14-3 or something like that at halftime. I was like, man, are the Broncos really about to do it? Really about to hand these boys their first L of the season? And, Mahomes does Mahomes stuff in the second half, but, and then, so they go up 16-14, and watching that last minute field goal, I was like, oh, okay, done deal. They're it was a 30-yard or something, nothing crazy, maybe 25. And to hear the broadcast call of the blocked field goal attempt,
amazing.
That is why we watch the game, because that was crazy.
No matter how you feel about the Chiefs or Patrick Mahomes, that is absolutely why we watch. That kind of excitement.
Definitely one of the cooler moments of the day for sure. I don't know about the season. That might be a little bit of a meat riding a little bit, but it was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, top 50 for sure.
Yeah.
That's not a big statement, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of cool moments. So top 50 is pretty cool.
Yep.
But speaking of cool moments, you have this note here. Baker is still that motherfucking guy. We need to talk about that fourth down play. When he had Nick Bosa on his arm, and he was holding off Nick Bosa with the stiff arm.
The stiff arm
towards the sideline, and then he dotted up. I don't remember who he got the ball to, but he threw the ball to whoever and converted on a 4th and 7. I was like, oh my God. That was probably the best play of the season.
Yeah, no, actually, probably could have been. I mean, it's up there with what about Garrett Wilson's catch?
I don't know, bro, because Nick Bosa is that guy. Like, I don't know if like Nick Bosa was like, I don't know what happened there, because there's no reason why he shouldn't have just dropped to the ground with arm in hand and then just ruined that whole play. So there might have been a little bit of a lapse in judgment there by him, but regardless,
I think
that was a fucking great play.
It was amazing. Awesome I just thought I just assumed he was dead, right? I'm just watching this and I'm like, well, there go the Bucs. There go the Bucs. There go the Bucs. And they refused to die. It's amazing that, I know they lost the game, but think about this. He doesn't have his top 2 receivers, and he is out there just putting the team on his back, making chicken salad out of chicken shit with these receivers, or with anybody on his offense, basically. Just it's been amazing. It doesn't matter that they lost. I forget actually what I did in this game, but I was going to say, I do not oppose taking the Bucs on the spread every game for the rest of the season just because of that. A bet I didn't mention was a Ren bet that did hit. I took the Bucs +5 and loved it. I didn't love it as the game went on, but that play kept that going. It's incredible.
Yeah, that looked a little dicey through the third quarter, but they picked it up late in that second half to get it figured out.
For sure.
C-Mike made his return, which was kind of cool.
It was nice to see him back finally.
Yeah.
He was, I didn't actually see his, I forget the exact numbers he had. He was definitely visible. I feel like he's still got a little more room to get spun back up again, though, too.
He can
just take over.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks' run defense is pretty stout. So I mean he was 13 for 39 on the ground, but through the air 6 for 68. So if he's not killing you one way, he's going to get you another.
Oh,
So
he is.
kind of seems like he's right back on his BS. And the Niners at 5-4, firmly back in the thick of things. I mean, I don't know what they're sitting in their division, but
It's actually an interesting division because now the Cardinals are surging now in that division. So that should be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, very much liking that Cardinals dark horse pick for a playoff spot at the moment.
Yeah, very much so. I would like that. I have a question for you. Unrelated, changing gears. Are the Bears good?
Oh man, I don't think so. I don't know, man, because they don't look good. I mean, if you get just bullied by the New England Patriots, I mean, it wasn't a shellacking or anything, but they didn't do shit all day against the New England Patriots. Who
at Soldier Field.
I don't think anybody's looking at the Patriots and being like, yeah, this is a pretty tough team. We should have trouble against them. Like, nah, you can't be looking like that. I think they had like 9 sacks or something crazy like that against the Bears. Not great, bro.
You want Caleb Williams to be more, I guess, elusive than that. And I saw the snippets of the game that were on Red Zone and whatnot, so I'm not necessarily watching the chess match between the offensive line and defensive line, but at the same time, it's unacceptable.
Not 9 sacks. I would bet a good amount of money that he was responsible for a bunch of those. Yeah. 9 sacks is a lot of sacks.
It's too many.
And there are, the questions are starting to swirl of do we trust the head coach and what's going on with the offensive coordinator? All the signs of a team imploding right before our eyes. And it's unfortunate from the NFL fan because they had a chance to kind of blow all this up in the offseason, put a nice fresh start around Caleb and, have everybody grow together. But if I were a betting man after this disaster of a season is over, all of the staff is gone. They're starting fresh and he's going to have to learn a whole new system and it's going to be, rookie season, the sequel, and we'll see how it goes. But
well, I got news for you. You are a betting man, just to be clear. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You can't run for me, sir. That's why I wanted. But that is why I wanted to ask and get your take. I can't say that they're a good team at this point. It's sad also from the NFC North fan perspective of like thinking it'd be cool if all 4 of those teams made it. But now I'm seeing the Bears slide. The Bears and Packers now, maybe even a little bit to a lesser extent, are threatening to turn back into pumpkins here a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know about the Packers yet. That might be a little bit premature. Who do they have this week? Are they on a bye this week?
Yeah, the Packers are on a bye this week.
They sure are. Yeah, okay, well that's good. I mean, yeah, they're 6-3 right now, so I don't think we should be counting them out.
No, we're not counting them out yet. Saying there's some plays that Jordan Love makes where you're just kind of scratching your head.
Why are you doing this? Yeah.
That being said, you see that from other parts of the NFC North as well. You could see that from Sam Darnold and until last night, not really, but Jared Goff. Holy crap. We'll get to him later.
Yeah, we will.
We'll get to him later. Absolutely crazy.
I was going to say, speaking of quarterbacks that we want to shit on real quick, I want you to go ahead and lean into that boy real quick.
Oh, lean into this boy. The fuck Aaron Rodgers pick. Yeah.
Just a weekly reminder.
Just the weekly reminder, fuck Aaron Rodgers. I already said that I was 1 loss away from hitting that under win total. That's going to feel really good when that cashes. It's just a prediction going into the season of like everybody's on Aaron Rodgers' dick and he's old and he's washed and he sucks and they got their ass handed to them by the Cardinals. I know that the Cardinals are decent. I am 99% sure that the Jets were favored in that game. Do you remember that? Because that is embarrassing from an odds making standpoint. That team is garbage. They suck. And this is true. They are garbage. Period. We're done. I'm done. I'm done with the Jets. I can't handle it.
What's crazy is I wanted to pick them against the Colts, but not again. You're not getting me again.
Nope.
Can't do it.
Yeah, the spoiler is Ren has Colts +3 because I think the Colts are going to win the game. I should have moved it to 3.5. I don't care. I think the Colts are going to win outright, so I'm just going to play it at 3. I know they tell you not to do this. I get it, but no.
Yeah, rebel without a cause over there, Renly.
For sure. And hey, but on the other side of the coin, quarterbacks that we do like. Thursday night football was Cincinnati versus Baltimore, and I want you can go ahead and take that one, big dog.
Baltimore and Cincinnati from now until further notice is must-watch TV. The back and forth that Lamar and Joe Burrow had, both in this game and their first meeting in the season, absolutely incredible. For the game to go down to a last-minute 2-point conversion, which very much respect the Bengals for taking the coin flip into their own hands as opposed to, having to potentially be heartbroken from some goofy ass overtime rules. Very much love that. It's just must watch TV. Like Jamar Chase out here going crazy. Speaking of fantasy, I mean, anybody, the guy that I played in the big money league had Lamar Jackson. Love that.
Oh yeah.
Any of those players just pop it. I got sidetracked. Jamar Chase, bro, 264 yards and 3 touchdowns off whatever. I don't remember how many targets and receptions he had, but that stat line is crazy. The first game, it was another 200 yards and a touchdown or 2 or something like that. Like every time these teams meet, bro, it's just fireworks. And it hasn't really mattered what state the franchises have been in, because it's been the past couple of years now that these games are just automatic. You just got to watch them, bro. And NFL fans everywhere were just full chub watching the game for sure.
As well they should be. It was really amazing. And to the point about the 2-point conversion, I think they would have done it anyways, but I just want to throw out there that not 3 days earlier, the Tampa Bay Bucks were playing Monday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bucks scored a touchdown with, 25 seconds on the clock or something like that. They elected to kick the extra point. And then what happens? The coin toss goes to the Chiefs. What do you think is going to happen? The Chiefs win the game by scoring a touchdown in overtime, and the Bucks don't touch the ball again. So I think as a 6-point road underdog, in that spot, if you're the Bucks, you got to go for 2. And I think the Bengals were willing to learn their lesson. As a big road underdog, you got the opportunity to take the lead with less than a minute to play. I think you got to take that. Now, if the roles are reversed, if you're the favorite and you're the better team and you've been screwing around all game and you find a way to get there, you can kick the extra point, tie the game. You like your chances in overtime. But these underdogs, I don't think they like their chances in overtime if I'm them. But anyway,
I would probably disagree with the if you're a favorite, play it safe and play for overtime. I think regardless, you gotta go for the win there. But that might just be a matter of personal preference. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also, I would be remiss if I did not mention, since we're talking about dog quarterbacks, I'm thinking about Baker Mayfield's fun play. Lamar Jackson, I don't remember what the down and distance was, but it was either a 3rd or a 4th down, and they were somewhere in the red zone, and he, the ball got snapped, and it was a typical Lamar is getting chased by like 2 or 3 linemen. He's like 15 yards back from the line of scrimmage, and it's like, oh, all hope is lost. And he finds just some magical way to get out of all of it, scampers down the sideline, tiptoeing on the sideline, just call the boy Sweet Feet, gets it down to the 1, and Derrick Henry finishes off the drive, does his thing. No other quarterback in the league is doing that. Like,
none.
Yes, that boy is MVP, and there is no discussion. I don't want to hear nothing about Patrick Mahomes. That shouldn't even be in the conversation. Patrick Mahomes is not in the conversation for MVP right now. And if anybody says he is, no, sir. Let's get real.
Before last night, I would have maybe thought Goff, but not anymore. Maybe that he could maybe be in that conversation with the and not because he's making that same play that Lamar Jackson's making, but it was over a stretch of 3 or 4 games, he threw more touchdowns than incompletions or something like that. It's like,
yes,
okay, respect.
The efficiency was going nuts for like
Yes.
3 or 4 games. It made no sense. He's throwing the ball like 15 times, completing 13 or 14 of them. 4 or 5 of those would be touchdowns. It just, that level of efficiency was out of control. And I would have had to agree that you have to, based on stats alone, have to put that man in the conversation. But not after 5 picks.
Not after 5 picks in one game.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you won. Yep. I agree. That was an amazing play. I didn't get a chance to tell you this, Curtis, so I'll tell you while we're live, of course, because why the hell not? My Dynasty League is doing parlays now. All right. I know I told you that. My Dynasty League is doing parlays. We're all basically picking a leg. If anyone is into it each week, they put down a leg. I put them all together, bet $1. We've been getting our ass kicked, so everybody went a lot more conservative this week, and our parlay odds were a lot worse. However, we were 1 pick away from turning $8 into $400. You know what that pick was?
Oh, jeez.
Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown. So the sweet feet play, he was down at the half-yard line. Little did we know on Thursday night that would be the difference, because the other leg hit on Thursday and the other 6 legs came through on Sunday. It's
really painful.
It makes me shudder now going back and feeling that devastation again a second time, but even greater. That was rough.
That's not
great. Yep. So anyway, just a little small anecdote there, but it was, anyway, but it was awesome. And it was definitely must watch TV. Like you said, I think we should, we already hinted a little bit at this, but I think we should take a little turn here and move on to our favorite. I don't know. Is this our favorite segment of the week? The clown of the week segment.
I think so.
I think it is.
Yeah, we've been kind of dancing around it. Around my clown of the week. I was gonna go Jerry Jones because he 1000% deserves it. That boy's a fucking clown.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I think the Panthers, for now, may have got themselves out of honorary clown or default clown of the week. For now. I mean, if they're winning games, I guess you can't be a clown if you're winning.
It's harder.
Jerry Jones might have to be the default clown of the week moving forward. When you've got your top receiver who you just paid a lot of money to, talking about, I can't see because of this trash ass stadium you built. Can you please put up some curtains? And your response is, oh, you just want me to tear down the whole stadium then and rebuild it? I'm like, come on, dog. I want to be able to see so I can catch the football that you pay me a stupid amount of money to catch.
Yes.
And try to win some football games. I digress. But this is not the Jerry Jones segment. We could probably spend a lot of time there.
I would disagree. We named it Clown of the Week, therefore it is the Jerry Jones segment. Sorry. Go on. Go ahead.
It's gotta go to that Detroit-Houston game is the Clown of the Week. I know throughout that whole game, all I could think was, what the fuck am I watching? Why is everybody throwing a pick or fumbling the ball? Why are 2 of some of the best teams in the league looking like they just completely forgot to how to play offense? Houston was up 23-7 at halftime, did not put any points up on the board in the second half and lost to a guy who threw 5 picks. Lost to a team that threw 5 picks? Come on, dog.
Talk about the turnover margin.
Unacceptable. And I think the Lions had a fumble in that game as well. I know the Texans did for sure. You have Joe Mixon, who's been on an absolute tear all season, and I understand the Lions defense is solid, but 25 attempts for 46 yards. You had a whole second half to put the game away with one of the best rushers in the league this year, and you put up 46 on the ground with him? That's unacceptable, man. I mean, I'm going to get back to Goff again, because to go, like we already touched on it, like to go from being in terms of efficiency to being damn near perfect. Like that's not a figure of speech. Like damn near perfect to throwing 5 picks. One of them was on a Hail Mary, so we could call it 4, but
Mhm.
and they were bad. They were bad picks. Like I don't think any of them were it was bad at the line or bad route by the receiver. It was like, yo, Jared, what's going on, big dog?
Seeing Ghost
Luck,
had the yips after the first one,
apparently.
probably.
I don't know. Like, yeah, he must have, because I don't know what I mean, mercifully, the kicker, bailed out the Oracle and saved the parlay, because I was just like, bro, how? Come on, dog. So I just honestly, a shit show from both offenses. We expect better from both of y'all. There's supposed to be I guess it was a good game, just in how weird it was.
It was the result was technically interesting, and comebacks are objectively interesting. So from that standpoint, it was a good game, but it is not the clean display of good team versus good team that you would like to see.
And
it was poor offense, sloppy play, and it was who could outslop the other.
Yes. And for that, Detroit, Houston, that game, Sunday Night Football, y'all get clown of the week.
Well said, sir. My clown of the week is going to require a small amount of buildup. So
I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, no. So okay, Sam Darnold, quarterback, Minnesota Vikings. I'm not done. Sam Darnold throws 3 INTs in this game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You come off a decently, reasonably convincing win against the Colts, team you should beat. Now you're going to go play the Jags without Trevor Lawrence. Okay, throws 3 picks. 2 of them are in the end zone. So we're driving the ball down the field and we're throwing picks. Mac Jones is a former first-round pick. He is first start with a brand new team, is excited. He gets the opportunity to establish himself in a new franchise. We don't know what's going to happen with Trevor Lawrence. We don't know how long he's going to be out, any of these things. Mac Jones comes in. He has the opportunity to put together something and gets the ball 3 times in the fourth quarter, down less than a score, either 2 or 5. And they turn the ball over on 3 consecutive, it turns the ball over the last 2 drives, basically. Okay, switching gears for just a second. Also, former first-round pick, number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, has been honorary clown of the week, is awful, has been benched because he's garbage, and comes back in and somehow outperforms Mac Hot Dog Jones. So anyway, all this buildup is to say my clown of the week is quarterbacks with the last name of Jones. You are all Hot Dog Jones. We have returned to Daniel Jones and Mac Jones being hot dog quarterbacks. That is what we've done. The Vikings handed you the game and you threw it away. And you, Daniel Jones, could not beat the goddamn Carolina Panthers with Bryce Young at quarterback. So if you're a quarterback with the last name Jones, you are clown of the week. I rest my case.
I had no idea where you were going, but you finally got there, and I approve of that message, sir. All quarterbacks with the last name Jones, hot dog water for sure. For sure.
It's been a while since we had Mac and Daniel playing quarterback in the same week. So I was kind of excited about that.
I am very glad that you picked up on that and brought that back, because I did not even think about that at all.
I was meandering, I think, a little too much there. If we did a production meeting, I could streamline that message a lot more. But I got there, and that's who it is, and that's definitely who it belongs to.
Yeah, that Vikings game. So I was giving Ren shit for because he picked that game very close. He I think you had like a 21-20 score or something like that, and I was giving you a lot of shit for putting just an inordinate amount of disrespect on the Vikings and how his PTSD from being a Vikings fan for however old you are, 30 years or whatever it is, that shit needs to be studied, because it's too much. But they tried their hardest to throw that game away.
They did everything
Literally.
they could humanly possible to look like an embarrassment of a football team.
Yeah.
And that's and to be honest with you, I mean, I'm glad they won. An ugly win is better than a loss. However, it does go to show that was very much a stereotypical Vikings letdown spot. And my PTSD, whether it's justified or not, the alarm bells were going off at the right time, I think, for me.
Yes.
Even if they won.
Yeah, I was going to say, what your alarm did not pick up on was the state of the Jaguars franchise. That's not great over there, bro. Like,
I agree. I agree. Please understand that exact argument that you just made right there, what the alarm bells failed to pick up on, that is why I changed my clown of the week from Sam Darnold to Mac and Daniel Jones, because I was ready to just throw the Vikings right under the bus for failing to look competent against this Jaguars team. But the other way to spin it is the Vikings did everything they could to lose that game, and the Jaguars simply refused to care about every chance they got.
Yeah, not great, Bob. That team, yeah, not great. And what's crazy is, even if they had Trevor playing, I'm not convinced that it would have been any different.
I don't think so.
Which not great. Not a good place to be in.
So this is the spot in the show where we switch gears, and this is the spot where we would read our advertisements if we had any. If you would like to advertise on our show, please feel free to let us know. Email us at footballclownsanonymous@gmail.com. Because we have no sponsor, we are going to advertise for ourselves. So guess what we have here? Send us an email if you are a listener. You can't handle this, but I'm going to keep going. I don't even care. Send us an email at footballclownsanonymous@gmail.com and ask to be added to our beautiful spreadsheet of our picks each week. And we will add you as a viewer of this beautiful pick spreadsheet. You can see what we're thinking each week. You can see how we're looking against the spread and go back all through the previous weeks, all of that fun stuff. And like I said earlier, or like we were talking about earlier, we have this research question of if we agree and we're more than 2 points away from the Vegas line and things like that. We've been tracking that since the beginning of the season, so we have some numbers on that. And with that in mind, this coming week, week 11, we have a whole lot of games that is true for. So one of two things is about to happen. We are either about to get seriously paid, or we are about to get our asses handed to us on a silver platter by Vegas. Any predictions?
Well, to put a bow on your advertisement read there, or maybe just a little extra incentive to want to look at our spreadsheet. We got this past week anyway, got a nice little 30% return on investment. That's pretty good. If you throw that money in the S&P, it's probably like 6-8% on a good year.
And a good year. We're talking about a week of betting action.
Come on, dog.
Just saying. Yeah.
I feel like we probably need to throw in a disclaimer. This is not legal or investing advice. This is just a podcast with a couple of guys talking shit. Please don't make any moves based on what we say. Do
not get our pick spreadsheet, start betting $100,000 on each of our picks, and then sue us because we told you we were going to make you money. Don't do it. Yeah. Because we call ourselves clowns for a reason. Also, You were laughing really hard at me while I was doing that bit on advertising. Is there anything you want to make sure you get off your chest here?
No, that it was just, I was not expecting it, and it was very entertaining. It sounded very professional. You did a good job there, Ren.
Hey, thank you. I'm sure that's exactly what you were thinking as you were laughing, and not this boy's so dumb. I love it.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that is basically the idea. So we go through, we make our picks though. We don't look at the Vegas lines. That's our biggest thing that we do. We don't look at each other's picks, and we don't look at the Vegas lines, because we're not just picking spreads basically at that point. We're just picking game outcomes and saying, who are we thinking? What's the final score going to be? And then we compare that against Vegas, and sometimes we find out, oh my gosh, this team is favored. That's ridiculous. And that's where we think we have an opportunity to make money. And it's been working out okay for us this season, knock on wood. And, who knows? Yep, knock on wood. Yep, find something. There we go.
We got there.
But we used to go through all the games. Now we only go through a couple because we don't have time to go through all the games and touch on them. We talk for way too much time. So we're just going to touch on a couple games apiece, and we'll tell you what our picks are. And I want to give you the opportunity, sir.
We've got some good games this week, man.
Amazing. I want to give you the opportunity to open up on the NFC East glorious showdown that's going to happen on Thursday Night Football.
Yo, Thursday Night Football this year has been delivering. We had a AFC North divisional matchup last week. We've got an NFC East divisional matchup for first in the division between the Eagles and the Commanders. And I got to say, man, the way that the Eagles defense has been playing, Jalen Hurts has been looking, dare I say, good, with a nice, very low-key 4 touchdowns again this past week. He's been on fire the past few weeks, past 3 or 4 weeks, I believe it is. I'm gonna say this and fuck it all up, but I am pretty confident the Eagles are going into DC and handing the Commanders a huge, not a huge L. They're gonna hand them an L. And
just really quick, it's in Philly.
It is in Philly. You're right. Shit, even better. Yeah. That's we get the W at Lincoln Field, or Lincoln Financial. The Commanders have been looking good. They took an L to the Steelers this past week, which we didn't touch on that game. Great game. That game lived up to the hype. Russell Wilson might be good again? Question mark?
Is Russ
Can
back?
We say that?
Is Russ back?
Oh my God.
Is he upgraded to Bratwurst Wilson from Hot Dog Wilson?
I think we already did upgrade him.
I think you're right.
I don't know what to do with it. We'll have to get back to we call them Italian sausage. I like it. Honestly, Italian sausage is good. A grilled Italian sausage, that shit slaps.
Yeah. No,
I don't know. We'll have to revisit Russ. I mean, we will be revisiting Russ here in a few minutes, but so the Commanders, dropped the ball on that one. But I mean, Jaden Daniels, let's be honest, that boy's been a revelation. He's a dog. The Commanders defense started off the season a little iffy, but they've been running into form themselves, kind of similar to the Eagles. Actually, they kind of have similar-ish stories in their season's trajectory in that respect from the defensive perspective. So it will be interesting to see how both of the offenses contend with those defenses. I don't remember the full gamut of the Eagles' schedule up to this point, but I can't off the top of my head think of a tough defense that they've had to face recently. And it would be nice to, looking at their schedule, I'm not seeing anything. I mean, they had the Browns back in week 5, it looks like, but I mean, they haven't really had too tough of a challenge with the defense. So it'd be nice to see if this Kellen Moore offense that seems to be running in the shape, holds its shape, if you will, against.
Good little temp check for you.
And I 100% agree. Yeah, nice little temp check. And I mean, the Commanders, let's see if they hold on to first. I mean, I'm not optimistic. They're having a great run, but I don't see this working out for them this game anyway.
Not the way the Eagles are playing right now.
No,
they're back to their form from a season and a half ago.
Right. And I suspect that these 2 games against the Eagles are going to decide who gets the first in the division and probably a 2 or a 3 seed, probably a 2 seed in the NFC, and who's going to get, that 5 seed for playoffs, if I had to guess, just kind of skimming over both of their remaining schedules. Neither one of them really scares me too much, except for the Eagles. Well, actually, that's a lie. The Eagles have a tough stretch of games coming up here. Commanders, Rams, Ravens, Panthers, Steelers, Commanders, and then finish up with Cowboys and Giants, but we don't care about those. So, I mean, for the Eagles, this is okay. Let me reframe my thinking now, actually looking at that, because for the Eagles, this is starting off a stretch of a lot of games that are either going to make or break their season.
Got to find a way on this one then. If you're the Eagles.
They do. This is a must-win for the Eagles. I think it'll happen, but I don't think I had the proper context for how important of a game this is for this point in the season for them. But all this rambling and meandering about the game aside, it's going to be fucking another great Thursday night football game. Very much excited to watch it.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, the Thursday night games have been off the rails this year, and this is no exception to that whatsoever. And I think both of us are seeing a shootout in this game. I'd still question whether or not 49 is a high total is where it is, and so again, it goes up into our category of we agree, and it's more than 2 points from the line. So technically, it's on the chopping block, even if we're not going to bet on it.
Right.
But I think maybe we're willing this into existence to be the glorious game that we think it should be or could be.
I have to imagine. And I did forget to talk about our line. So let me go back and do that real quick. So Ren we both have the Eagles winning. Ren 28-27, myself 31-24. Vegas has the Eagles as 3-point favorites at home and an over-under of 49. So we're both smashing the over on that. We don't really have agreement on the spread, but yeah, I don't think either one of us touch this game regardless.
No, the outcome's a coin flip. It's not because I doubt the Eagles. It's a division game, and for as much as the Eagles need to win this game, the Commanders really want to win this game, especially coming off a loss last week in Pittsburgh that they probably feel they could have won. They believe that. I mean, that franchise believes, that team, I should say, believes that they can come in and get this done, and they have a legitimate chance to. So to me, it's a coin flip. Gun to my head, I'm not going to not take the Eagles, but it's closer than that. So it's very close to me. So
sure.
I'll move on to another glorious division showdown that was briefly alluded to. And this is also another game for first place as well. Oddly enough, hot dog Russell Wilson. I shouldn't call him that anymore. We upgraded him, but I'm too used to it. I lived in Colorado when Russell Wilson was here. But anyway, the Baltimore Ravens are on the road against Mike Tomlin, Italian Sausage Wilson, doesn't sound as good, and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, we'll workshop that.
What's that?
Well, so we got to workshop that. I don't know what he's going to upgrade to, but he's got to upgrade to something.
Wilson Schnitzel. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on past that as soon as possible. So, yeah, edit that out. No, I'm not going to. All right. So your boy Ren here has picked an upset, and I'm prepared.
I forgot about
actually,
this.
You know what? Yeah. I don't know that I'm prepared with enough points but I'm prepared for the firestorm, mentally prepared for the firestorm that's coming back. I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game, 27-24. Curtis has also a close game, but he has the Ravens winning 28-24. So we both have an over on the Vegas points line at 47, which the over at 47, even though we both have it, kind of makes me shudder for an AFC North division game in November. And then, of course, the spread we do not agree on because I'm taking an upset here. Let me just say this really quick. The Baltimore Ravens are probably the best team in football. Did you see what they did when they played the Browns and the Ravens earlier in the season? They have the opportunity for, shall we say, maybe a kryptonite type of game. This is a road game against a good team in their division. They have a reasonable chance, even though they are the better team, they have a reasonable chance of dropping this one. That's where I'm coming from.
When I first saw that you picked the Steelers, obviously my gut reaction was, what the fuck are you thinking? However, upon further reflection, I had all day to sit on it, and I don't hate it. I certainly, if I didn't scar myself from trying to pick the Broncos, could see myself trying to make this pick, because in essence, it's pretty much the same pick, but with a better version of that team. Yeah. So what I mean by that is I picked the Broncos because I love their defense, and I'm a big proponent of defense wins championships. And what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object type of logic? The Steelers have a similar build, just with arguably a better quarterback right now, a better offense right now. So in theory, they could maybe put some points up and keep up with a Ravens defense that has been a bit of a pass funnel. And Russell Wilson and George Pickens have been on fire as of late. Mike Williams with a nice deep touchdown last week.
Nothing crazy. I'm
No.
glad you don't. I'm glad you don't hate it because
I don't hate it.
I thought that one was going to just expose me to some pain and suffering.
No, I don't hate it. If I wasn't scarred from my Broncos pick, I might have tried it, but it's got to be the Ravens from here on out until further notice. Because I mean, that offense, bro, is just too much. How do you stop Lamar and King Henry? And now they got Deontay Johnson, who's not even in the fold yet. But I mean, assuming that they can get him integrated into the receiving core, with to have him be some kind of productive. That's a crazy. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman contributes. Deontay Johnson as a wide receiver 3 for an offense that's already humming with that running game. Like it's just and Mark Andrews out here returning to form. Quick side note: you were an absolute donkey for not taking that trade that I proposed to you earlier.
Watching him be good again reminds me of that every time he catches a touchdown.
Oh, I know it does. I think of it. I think of you every single time.
I'm disgusted.
Ren and I made a trade in one of the leagues that we're in. We were trading. We swapped Breece Hall and Nico Collins. I needed a receiver and he needed a running back in the worst way. I still feel like even with Nico being out for the past 5 weeks, I still feel like I won that trade, which is a testament to Breece Hall's season, which rip the Jets. But as a part of that trade, I tried to offer him Mark Andrews. So this was back in like week 2 or 3 or something like that. Yeah. I tried to offer him Mark Andrews, who was at the time just worthless, for Isaiah Pacheco, who is also technically worthless at the moment. Because I was anticipating I was already trying to do some future proofing for a playoff run. And he was like, nah, Pacheco is definitely going to be worth more than Andrews at the moment, or, down the road throughout the course of the season, I guess. And should have took that one, goofball.
I should have. My team is 6-3, about to be 7-3. I'm okay with not having done it, but I definitely should have done it because Pacheco's been useless for so long. My tight end right now is Cade Otton, who I picked up, and I'm pretty sure I had. Maybe it was Dalton. No, I don't think it was Dalton Schultz. Cade Otton is a replacement. Basically, I would rather have Andrews at this point. Pacheco's sitting on my IR slot still.
I mean, Cade Otton's been having himself a fine few weeks.
No, he's been just fine. But I'd rather have Andrews at this point, especially in that offense.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm also going to be excited when Isaiah Pacheco returns from the dead, and I'm currently sitting in a first round bye spot right now. In the playoffs, I've been this good without Pacheco, so I still like where I'm at. But I definitely should have taken that trade.
Man.
Yeah. Hey, I got another one for you. You, sir, need tickets to Highmark Stadium again because the Buffalo Bills are hosting the 9-0 Kansas City Chiefs. And I would love for you to read to the audience. I would love for you to read to the audience what we think is going to happen in this game.
So, it's going to be a great game. I think it goes without saying this week has a phenomenal slate of games. We're not even going to talk about all of them, but I'm getting off track already. We both have Buffalo winning this game. Ren has Buffalo winning 31-27. I've got him winning 24-23. I'm not quite as confident. Vegas has the Bills favored by 2.5 points, over under 45.5. And this game also kind of sort of for first, though I do think technically Kansas City would remain in the 1 seed if they lose. I'm not 100% confident on tie-breaking rules here, but it would certainly feel like the Bills would have the 1 seed, even if it's kind of a fake 1 seed if they win. I think the Bills have looked like the more complete, better team up to this point than the Chiefs have. The Chiefs just eked by the Denver Broncos on a miracle blocked kick at the end of regulation. That's not a 9-0. Honestly, I heard this on a podcast the other day, and it rang true to me because being an Eagles fan, they remind me of the Eagles of last year. where they won pretty much every game they played. They didn't look like they deserved to win all those games. And then when they got to the playoffs, they got ran the fuck out the door. I don't know if the Chiefs are that bad. Like, I mean, D-Hop, he looks okay. Mahomes is still Mahomes, and the running game is okay. But Travis Kelce still Travis Kelce, and that defense is still elite. But it doesn't feel like a 9-0 team should feel, and that Bills team feels like they should probably be 9-0. I mean, they've been kind of handily winning games, and it hasn't been using, hasn't been leaning on any one player. Josh Allen hasn't really done anything spectacular. I mean, he's looked okay, but he's not having a Superman every single game. It's just been, and the defense has been coming on. I mean, it's just been all around good team football, and I have a hard time thinking the Chiefs are going to be able to keep up with that. I don't know. How are you feeling? I mean, obviously you have the Bills winning too, but
I do have the Bills winning. However, spoiler alert, I have the Chiefs in a teaser leg because I absolutely 100% refuse to not take advantage of a 9-0 team being an underdog. That just I can't.
I understand.
I can't wrap my head around that, and until further notice, that doesn't make sense. However, on paper, the Bills should win this game, and I could definitely see them winning it by multiple scores because, to your point, they look like the more complete team. They are not the ones, most of the time, they are not the ones pulling the rabbit out of the hat like the Chiefs have been. The Chiefs are a phony 9-0. They are a good football – actually, they're a great football team. And if you ask me who's going to win the Super Bowl again this year, I'm going to go, let's see, the Ravens, the Chiefs anyways, because they don't make any sense when they get to the playoffs. This is Kansas City Chiefs football. That being said, on paper, you play this game 1,000 times, the Bills should win more than 500 of them. That's just where I'm going with it. So I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, I think it's going to be an amazing game. And this is just it's tough because the Bills can't get the Chiefs off their back in the playoffs. These teams,
that's why I went the 24-23 score, because even though I believe all of this to be true, just like you said, bro, the Chiefs have just been the Bills' kryptonite, and it is kind of fucking infuriating, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it's like it doesn't matter how good the Bills play, like they just cannot find a way to win these games, and it's just that's how you separate like the great from the good. Like you find a way. You block a field goal at zeros, you found a way. Like it's just,
a win's a win. A win's a win. At some point, one of these isn't going to go the Chiefs' way, and I think that's this week.
Yeah.
And then when they meet in the playoffs, the Bills will be favored again, and the Chiefs will win anyways. It won't even matter. It's
hard to disagree.
The Chiefs don't make any sense.
No.
Yeah. And last game here, really quick, and we'll get to our bets. There are a lot of to your point, there are a lot of games here that are worth discussing. I'm going to just touch briefly on Bengals and Chargers. Somehow, hang on. I have a cat that got stuck in a bathroom. I'll be right back.
So we got the Bengals and Chargers. So this is a game we both basically have no idea what is going to happen. We both have the Bengals winning. We both have the score being 24-23, Bengals winning. Vegas has the Chargers favored at -1 at home. 47 points even. So we are right on the money with Vegas in terms of points scored. We differ in terms of who we think is going to win. So Vegas thinks that Chargers will be winning this game 24-23. Ren, you mentioned playing this game 1,000 times. The Bills are going to win that over 500 times. I think you played this game thousands of times. It's getting split down the middle. Like I have just zero idea how this game is going to shake out.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a back-to-back road spot for the Bengals, which doesn't help having to fly across the country like this. But I think on paper, it's hard because the Chargers are winning, but I feel like they're beating handedly bad teams that they should be beating. And this is going to be a absolutely amazing temperature check for them. The Bengals have had some great games this season. They've also had some really boneheaded games, like against the Patriots in week 1. I'm going to go with the underdog because I agree with you. I think it's a coin flip. The underdog is plus. So, I mean, I've got I have Bengals money line actually as one of my bets that we're going to get to, but just because I think it's a coin flip type of game. I don't love the situation necessarily for the Bengals, but it is really interesting that we actually both picked the same exact score, again, without consulting each other, 24-23 Bengals.
I like the Bengals because I would expect T. Higgins will be back this week. And I mean, as explosive and dominant as Burrow and Chase have been without him on the field, when they're all on the field, all three of them together, that it's just a different kind of magic that happens. And I don't like the Chargers defense is great and all that fun stuff. Harbaugh football, solid defense, crazy run game, and Gus Edwards actually looks good. So they'll maybe be able to control the clock and keep it out of Burrow's hands, which is another wrinkle in all of this. But if they are not successful doing that, I don't think it should surprise anybody if Burrow goes for like 350 and 3, splitting that up between Jamar and T. Higgins in some form or fashion. And fucking Chase Brown has been a revelation. I think he's a year 2 running back with the Bengals. So it should be interesting. I think both of these teams are fighting for a wild card spot right now. I mean, the Chargers are sitting 6-3 at the 6th seed. Bengals are at the 9 seed, sitting at 4-6. But if they win this game and both the Colts and the Broncos lose, I think they might be able to jump to that 7 seed, which is crazy given how their season has gone up to this point, that they are well within reach of a playoff spot. I mean, this is low key a sneaky playoff game right here. And I don't think, with the way that the Bengals season has started and what we were expecting from the Chargers, given their soft rebuild, that we would have kind of been feeling this way about this game, but should be a good one.
No, I'm excited for it. It is, like you said, it's sneaky. When I look at the games this week and I see a lot of really good games, it wasn't the one that hopped right off at me like these other ones that we just touched on, but I think it should actually be really interesting, and it is really impactful for that playoff seeding, to your point. So, these are 2 teams that aren't going to win their division in all likelihood. So, they are jockeying essentially for playoff position against each other right now. So for those wild card spots, so should be pretty exciting.
I agree.
Should we transition to our final segment, which is where we show Vegas who's boss?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right.
You want to kick us off?
I will. Yeah. So I've already touched on 2 of these actually. Colts +3 against the Jets is one of. So these are Ren's bets, just to be clear. I'm taking Colts +3. I know I should move it to 3.5. I don't care. I think the Colts are going to win. The Jets suck. Until further notice, the Jets are atrocious at football. Period. I'm also taking Bengals money line, like I said, just because I think the game's a coin flip, and I'm going to take the team that's getting +100 odds to win the game. That, in this case, is the Bengals. The last one, and I did this because Curtis laughed. The last one, and I shouldn't do this. I'm going to do it anyway.
You should have this on your list.
I don't care. I am laying 13 points with the Detroit Lions. They are hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags, if Trevor Lawrence plays, I will like this less. But I just watched the Jacksonville Jaguars be given every opportunity to win a home game against a team that had no interest in playing competent football, and they couldn't do it. The Detroit Lions are that team that will win this game by 37. So I'm playing the Lions -13. Again, until further notice, the Lions will cover every spread, period. Now, the scholar is now going to take the driver's seat and is going to talk about his teaser legs this week. This is a very boring week. There are a lot of games stuck right in grade 7. I almost decided to get cute with a couple of them and add a couple more legs at some weird, not quite through the 3s and 7s. Decided, you know what? We're sticking with the tried and true method. Chiefs +8.5. They are 9-0. Do I need to say more? I know they should not be favored in this game, but if you're going to give me a 9-0 team to be within a score, I'm going to take it 11 times out of 10. The other one is the Falcons plus 7.5 on the road against Denver. Do I love the Falcons? No. But what kind of game does Denver like to play? Low scoring, grind it out, defensive struggle. I think they're going to pick off Kirk Cousins once, maybe even twice. But, the Falcons are not a slouch. They will keep the game close. And I'm expecting both of these teaser legs to come through. I have $2 on that. And that will be the scholar for this week.
I like those legs. I did flirt with taking that under on that Falcons Broncos game. But I took unders on 4 other games instead. Curtis did, by the way. The Rams and Patriots, got to hit the under there. Any game that the Patriots are in, I don't think there should be any expectations for a bunch of points. And seeing the way the Rams are playing this current game, gives me even a little bit more confidence that I don't see 44 points magically coming into existence in that game. Colts and Jets. We've been shitting on the Jets for weeks now, rightly so. Excuse me. Their offense, regardless of what it looks like on paper, even I've come around to the fact that it's just not working. For whatever reason, it's not working. Joe Flacco also not quite working out. Just threw 3 or 4 picks, whatever he did this past week. It's going to be a pretty easy under for me there. Houston, Dallas. Houston defense, elite. Houston offense, apparently can't put up points anymore. It's got to be an under. As long as Cooper Rush is the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys and they're playing at home, it doesn't matter. It's got to be an under because Dallas can't put up points. Houston defense is legit. Or they're not going to hold up their end of the deal. Definitely not getting to 42 points. Cleveland. What is that? Browns and Saints, got to hit the under there. I don't feel super great about this one. It's mostly a bet on the Saints not being, we're going to get past the post-coach firing, obligatory win because, we reshuffled the coach and all that fun stuff. We're going to come crashing down to earth playing this Browns team. Before the Browns went on by, the offense looked terrible. Jameis looked like the Jameis that is the reason he's not starting for any teams. Let's go ahead and hit it under there. And your boy, the Oracle.
Bring us home. Bring us home, sir.
So the Oracle last week made his hay by masquerading as the conglomerate known as Ren and Curtis. This week, he is doubling down on that idea of betting on what Curtis and Ren agree on, excluding divisional games. And you know what? Last week we did a bunch of spreads. This week it's all money lines because we believe that the Miami Dolphins are beating the Las Vegas Raiders money line.
Not close.
We believe that the Rams are beating the Patriots money line.
Not close.
We believe, and this one I'm a little scared about, but we believe that the Browns are beating the Saints money line.
That's that Oracle energy. That third leg is that Oracle energy. And I love that. You know
scary.
What? As much as I don't love Jameis Winston at this moment right now, the Browns are winning that game.
Got to.
I love it.
Very, very much excited to see how that one plays out. And given the fact that the Oracle won this past week, all of these are going to be red this week. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, you should just bet against what you think the week after an Oracle win because there's no way.
I don't think I've had back-to-back weeks yet.
Lightning doesn't strike twice.
No.
Nope.
Also, I've gone ahead and taken the liberty and just shaded in your plus 8.5 already.
Hell yeah. Dolphins covering the teaser spread.
Yeah.
And the scholar sweeps. Let's go.
Very productive week for us last week.
Absolutely. And it's been a productive episode this week as well. Good to be back.
Yes, sir.
And send us an email, footballclownsanonymous@gmail.com. Like, comment, subscribe. And unless one of us is deathly ill again next week, we'll see you then.
Yes, sir. Till next time.
Take care.